All right, so this is our second week in Module 5, project-based learning. And with project-based learning, there's different models. There's problem-based learning, project-based inquiry, inquiry-based learning. There's lots of different words to describe it. And the reason there's different words in this case is because they mean different things. Because each discipline has their own way of constructing new knowledge, there's different words that are used in those disciplines to describe the process of what they're doing. So we kind of looked at a general article and then my article so that you would understand where I'm coming from. Also, it should help you with your final, because these are the steps we're using for your final. So you have already sent to me your compelling question, and then we're going to work together on how to gather and analyze some data. All right, so this week you are going to watch the videos on the 5 E's, which is about science, the 3 C's, which is history, and then we're going to dig a little deeper into project-based inquiry by adding global to it. So project-based inquiry global. And we'll also be talking about web quests. And some of you are interested in designing a web quest for your final project. So this, I hope, will be very helpful to you. So let us look at the first discussion. Okay. The 5E instructional model in science is engage, explore, explain, extend. And evaluate is happening all around it because you are doing formative assessment to see what kind of instruction your students need and to check for understanding so that you can reteach or coach in particular ways. And here is a video explaining it, and then here is an example of a school using it. The C3 framework is from social studies, and it's career, college, and citizenship ready. So even though it is social studies, you could still apply it in other disciplines if you're thinking about citizenship. Same with the 5E model. You may be an English teacher, but perhaps you're having your students do a scientific paper, and you could use the 5 E's. So here are videos about asking questions, about argumentation, and taking informed action. So Matthew, these videos are for you. I hope you find them helpful. All right, and then you've seen this PBI model before. What we're going to add to it are the global cross-cultural interactions. So you can watch this video and see if you can find me. And then watch this video about the design features, which you have not learned about yet. In your discussion post, you will compare and contrast. So what's the same, what's different? And then you will read the article on WebQuest, which is posted here. So a well-designed web quest combines research-supported theories with effective use of the internet to promote dependable instructional practices. And then I linked what I used in my own classroom, and it's still available, this curriculum times grade level matrix. So all you do is you choose, let's see what there is in social studies for 9th graders, and you search, and it will show you all of the different web quests that are already made and published that you can use. Now, in my experience, the grade levels were a little higher than what my students were able to do independently. This was also 10 or more years ago, so students didn't have as much experience doing independent problem-based learning or project-based learning. So it required a lot of scaffolding to help them learn some self-regulation skills, but maybe your students have more experience than mine did. All right, and then instead of doing a discussion post this time, because like your feedback said, you'd probably all be saying similar things. Instead, we're just doing a Padlet, and this is a way to show you a digital tool that you can use in your own classroom. It's really great for large classes because everyone participates and you can see everyone's participation. And it's great for students who may be more shy in a face-to-face conversation, but they feel more comfortable sharing their thoughts in writing. So you will post on Padlet in your own words so that not everyone's sounds exactly the same. Do not just cut and paste. Put it into your own words, and think about your discipline. Like, what does this look like in your discipline? So combine your reading from your first discussion post and like how Kelsey did extra research, which was amazing, and combining that to show what a real web quest would look like. Okay, so that's due on November 4th. And then here are some more, here's more information about these types of learning. So project-based inquiry science for middle school, problem-based learning network. Oops, that page can't be found, never mind. The Buck Institute is like the Bible for project-based learning, so you can explore this, especially if you are going to be doing project-based learning for your final project. I will expect you to cite the Buck Institute, so, read this stuff. And then inductive. So some of you talked about using project-based learning at the beginning, where you're giving students all the data and you have them look at the data and either do like card sorting where there's a lot of different elements or characteristics on cards and they sort them together to form groups, sort, group, label. Also, some of you talked about giving them problems that they had to work out on their own and then come up with the mathematical principle behind it. So those are all examples of inductive learning. And so here's an overview on inductive learning that was written by a student last year when we actually had a whole module on inductive learning. So I hope you find that helpful if you're interested in that. And as always, we will be doing a lesson plan here. So you can use the PBI model, the 5E model, the C3 model. You can make a web quest and you will submit your lesson plan as your final, as your culminating project for this module. And I do have a rubric, so I will attach that, but the rubric is based on these phases. So confrontation with a problem, something that launches the students into inquiry, that provides the necessary background knowledge they may need. Organizing the students, so even though the students have to do self-regulation, they're not left on their own. You are helping to organize them and the materials and the logistics. How are they going to gather their data or sources or library research or interviewing, social science experiments? What are they doing? Then how are you having them formulate an explanation? That is where they are constructing the knowledge themselves. And they are publicly sharing or displaying their explanations in some way. And then assessment. How are you going to assess the process and the product? Because they are both important in inquiry-based or project-based learning. All right, so good luck. Please let me know if you have any questions.